Now we're gonna basically cook these breakfast potatoes right now. Instead of oil, we're gonna use butter. A lot more better, a lot more flavor, and it basically gets deep down inside your potato. Just drop that in there, and we're just gonna circle that around just like that. Okay, let that melt down. You're just gonna drop that in there. Okay. Now the reason why I don't just put the onions directly in is because the cook time on the potatoes is gonna be much longer than the cook time on the onions. So we're gonna actually let this cook a lot more longer before we drop in the onions. So we're gonna make sure get all the potatoes coated. I've been in a lot of different kitchens. I've had a lot of different people cook for me just to prove that point. I can cook better than you, chef. But I mean, in all actuality, I've seen a lot of different things. And one key thing that I definitely want to show or tell you guys is that the best way and the most healthiest way, I should say, a lot of people cook with forks and spoons and metal forks, metal spoons or whatnot. And it actually scratches the bottom of your nylon. You have your iron scale, and it scratches it, and it basically leaves insertions in it. And you don't want that in your food. You don't want to basically scratch up or even damage your pretty much your pans. So what I use is either a spatula, but I use a spatula only when it's not on high heat products. This is a high heat product, so I actually use a wooden spoon or a wooden spatula just as this is so. Okay, this is a little words of advice from me to you, basically to inform you on what we do, professionals in the kitchen. So I put out the chicken, and all we're gonna do is just dice it up because we're just gonna throw it right back into the mix that we're gonna be doing for the breakfast burrito. Boom. So we have our. So just a little quick rehearse on what we are using: egg whites, grilled chicken, spinach, tomatoes, mushrooms, jalapenos, diced onions. For the seasonings, I'm going to be using garlic powder, seasoning salt, cayenne pepper, and some Italian flakes. Also, we're going to incorporate some Mexican style cheese right there. Okay? Right, so now we're basically going to be sauteing up everything that's going to be going for inside the stuffing of the breakfast burrito, okay? So we're going to add our onions, our diced onions, to our already hot. You can hear that. Just going to throw that in there. Let that swoosh around. I mean, I know it's the camera, but you can definitely instantly smell the aroma of the onions being sauteed. Spread that around just like, and our jalapenos. The reason why I'm not going to basically put the tomatoes in just yet, because tomatoes are pretty much, you don't want to get too mushy, create like a tomato paste type action. Definitely don't want that. So we're going to leave that there. We're going to leave the tomatoes, the spinach, and the chicken. And we're going to let that sit just for right now, okay? Drop the top on it. Basically, the top is basically going to cook everything a lot much faster, as you can see, like the vacuum heat right here. How it just circulates. Basically, it's going to cook the exact way that we did the chicken, how we have the steam cook through the chicken to make sure that it gets down to the core. We're actually going to have the same thing, the same kind of action, doing for the mushrooms and the onions and the jalapenos. So we're going to leave that right there. I'm going to basically season this right here. The egg whites, I'm going to be using just salt. Just add just a little bit there. I'm going to stir that up. And then pretty much we're all ready to go. Pretty much taking the top off. Basically, you can see that the mushrooms are all cooked in, just for a little check. Or raw mushroom will be harder to cut in. Cooked mushrooms, definitely easier. Just check. Just check. So pretty much when you see a light browning onto the onions, that's basically ready that you're gonna add in all the other ingredients with our spinach. Spinach is actually gonna wilt. It's gonna actually suck in all that heat, that absorb it. It's gonna wilt down. Welting is basically this welts in. You're definitely gonna check it out in a second. Add a little more. And the chicken. And then tomatoes. And now we're gonna add the seasoning. Because it's garlic, garlic is a great addition for flavor. Okay, so we're basically gonna coat just like this, making sure we get it all across. And we're gonna go right back, just like that. Same thing with the Italian plate, just like that. Seasoning salt. With the seasoning salt, you don't want to basically coat off too much salt. You don't want to have that salty taste. So we're just going to do little dashes around, okay? And then because I love spicy food, I'm actually Panamanian. I love spicy food. Cayenne pepper is one of those things that you definitely need to have in your seasonings all the time. Trust me. It's a great addition. Just gonna do a little bit, just across the middle. I'm gonna let this saute up, just like that. Go ahead, throw that back on top. So pretty much like I said, the spinach welted, all the ingredients are in. We have all the seasoning. There's a nice little brown, great look to it. I mean, pretty much you can just eat it just like it is right now. I mean, we're gonna turn it up just a little bit more. We're gonna turn it up just a little bit more. I'm gonna add in some cilantro. I mean, pretty much it's a breakfast burrito. You think breakfast burrito, you think a Hispanic type of culture. Great Hispanic type of culture. Dropping in some cilantro. So we're just gonna drop in cilantro just like that. Just add that in there. Boom. Just like that. Now we're just gonna reduce the heat just a little bit. Now we're gonna add in the egg whites. Now, because the egg whites was cold, it's basically cooled down the entire skillet. But once it gets hot again, as you can see on the bottom right here, it's cooking all the way. Moving a little bit, cooking. So pretty much all we're gonna do, and this is why it's good to use a wooden spoon for this, okay? Because if you were using basically a wooden, or not a wooden, but a metal spatula, it would actually scrape the bottom. You don't want that. Or even in fork. A lot of people use a fork. I don't know why, but you guys, fork, we're not going to do that. We're going to eliminate all those pet peeves of mine, and we're going to do it the correct way, okay? So you see how all that right there as well. Just like that, just like that. We're gonna basically be preparing the breakfast burrito. So everything's cooked right here, still hot. I wanna make sure it's hot because we're gonna add a little bit of cheese onto it. Not too much, I wanna make sure it stays healthy. With a burrito, you want basically all the stuff to be inside of the burrito or the tortilla. Drop that right there. This is also good for a serving right here. So just drop that right there in the middle, okay? And we're gonna add in just a little bit of cheese. Just a half of the cheesy. I mean, it's a breakfast burrito. Just like that. Just like that. Close that up, okay? So pretty much, like I already said, you wanna basically have it set up to the point where the stuffing of the burrito is directly in the middle, because what you're going to do is going to be folding in for the burrito, okay? So we're gonna be using just a little bit of cheese. I mean, pretty much all burritos have cheese. Roll that on top. Roll that on top just a little bit. Put that to the side, alright? Best way wrapping a burrito is making sure that your tortilla is hot or heated so that it doesn't break. A lot of times when you actually have dry tortillas, it tends to break on the sides or whatnot. So we're going to wrap over, basically like a taco, having it just like this, basically closing in. And we're going to wrap that in just like that. Roll that over as well. It's still breaking. Pretty much, you already can see that because the tortilla wasn't hot enough, it broke right here. That's why you always got to back up. Holding it just like this, same way. Making sure that it's tight. Right here. Same thing on this side. Hold it on this side. Since this one's double, might as well just double this one too. We're gonna go ahead, cut this up. So we pretty much have breakfast burrito. So we have the breakfast potatoes and we have the breakfast burrito. And as you can see, you can actually see every single ingredient that we use within that right there, okay? So since we have people over, we're gonna serve them up. Come on guys, let's eat. There you go.
You never go wrong with onions. I love onions.
Man, this is really good.
Mm-hmm. My mouth is full. Everybody's happy. It's pretty much what I do. That's breakfast potatoes and a breakfast burrito. We're gonna get to other stuff right now.